Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to Inter Worldwide. Back again. Thank you very much to anybody that has clicked this video. Thank you to Mattia and Giovanni. But above all, thank you very much to Gianni from the InterViews podcast. Thank you so much for coming in today, man. I really appreciate it.
No, man, appreciate the invite. Love being able to chat with you.
I haven't been bothered to record any Inter content during the Euros, man. So I thought, why not just wrap it up in one big hit? And then I thought, I just want to speak to Gianni about it. To be honest, I just wanted to catch up with you after we won the second star, and I want some Due Stelle vibes, man. Of we're the champions, and I'm not happy with the fact that we're not paying attention to that. Even if the La Nazionale are playing in an international tournament, I don't give a shit. So we're here for second star vibes today, man. So, and that's how we're going to start today, because we haven't caught up properly since we did win the second star. So I want everyone to just kick back and watch this. Thank you to the 24 people that are here right now. And if you're watching it back, enjoy. How you feeling, man? How did you feel as it all happened? To win it against Milan, absolutely surreal, but at the same time, premeditated from the team, because that's what you do when you piss on the league the way that we did this season. And that's what I was most happy about, man. We made it look easy, even though we know nothing's easy. So how did you feel? And are you still coasting on it now?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, especially like you said, doing it against Milan. I don't think you could have scripted it better, to be quite honest. And for us to be able to do it, and like you said, with that level of ease, man, I was thrilled. I love the way the team played. I feel like, initially when Inzaghi came in, there was some, concerns. We didn't know what was really going to come from it. We didn't know if he was going to be able to continue what Conte did. But we saw with this year the way everything played out, with the way all the pieces kind of fell into place in terms of like the players fitting in and buying into his system. I mean, when they're on, they're on. And I truly don't think that there's a team in Europe that could beat them. I don't think I'm exaggerating or even saying anything out of pocket with that. I think when we play to the best of our abilities with this starting 11 that we have, I mean, in my opinion, we're invincible, and we saw it, when we played like that. So
awesome, bro. Awesome. Plenty of highlights to go by last season. Anything that stood out to you most of all? I'm not even just talking about games or moments. I'm just talking about anything that made you realize last season. Like for me, I was really happy with the resurgence of Bastoni after a season before that, and like a couple of seasons of, him not being at the level that I knew that he could be at. Last year was the breath of fresh air. Obviously, we had Hakan's revenge, many things. But what stood out for you last season, man? What are some of the highlights?
I mean, for me, I think the thing that really stood out was the consistency that Hakan played with the entire season. I think with years past with him, it was a little up and down at times. You would have moments where he would be incredible, and then moments where you didn't even know if he was playing and he would be making mistakes. This season, I would honestly, I mean, I know, everyone would probably say Lautaro, but I would argue that Hakan was our MVP for the year.
Yeah.
That just what he did, what he brought, and his level of play, it was incredible. I think that's what really stood out to me this year.
Yeah, no, we named Hakan the MVP on this channel as well. I think he just really stood out, and you can see he's carried the form into the Euro 2024 as well. He's at the peak of his career at the moment, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. And that's a topic that we're going to talk about in this show as well, is potential move away, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's definitely one of the topics that we will talk about. Staying on the second star victory, though, I loved watching the celebrations, man. It looked like the whole world just came off everybody's shoulders. And it wasn't just the fans. It was from a players to a management level. Everybody just knew that this was monumental. It was a milestone moment. But as soon as the dust trickled off, man, I'm hungry again. And I want 21. I want this team to build on that. I want back-to-back. I don't want to be known as just winning the one. I think that we can do it. And I think that the pieces that were put in place prior to last season ending, of Zielinski and Taremi, were fundamental, because we didn't have a lot of work to do this Mercato, bro. Marotta has looked at this Mercato going, I've seen tougher days. I have seen colder nights here. And I think that we're looking not too bad. So what did you make of it at the start of the Mercato? You're feeling really good now. You think we're sort of set?
I think the only thing that I would like to see, it's like, Inzaghi just got you the second star. I think you should reward him with at least one big piece. Maybe a center back, maybe another striker. Whether some people talk about Goodmanson. I don't know who's going to be the move. A center back would be nice. I would love Buongiorno. I don't know if that's going to be realistic, But it would be nice to get one more thing. Other than that, I mean, yeah, like you said, I love the free guys that we were able to bring in Zielinski and Taremi, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do. I mean, obviously, it hasn't really opened yet, and I'm sure they might, things might change between now and the end of the Euros. So hopefully, some movement happens there for us.
Yeah, the latest on the Goodmanson thing is like we've just had news surface on that the last couple of days after it going dry for a while. It's that we could spread some costs over the time for to Genoa as well. Kind of like I think a similar formula that we're doing with Sassuolo for Fratesi. Um, I think he'd be a good inclusion. It just depends on how much we're willing to spend because we know that we're still penny pinching. We know that Oak Tree isn't
Yeah.
exactly going to throw a decent bag at Marotta. It's not going to be the worst situation, but we don't have huge money to spend. And I was speaking to my friend Bruno the other day, and he's sharing some of your optimism as well, that he thinks that we could be rewarded with a big signing and it could come out of nowhere, and he's not too sure who it is. But if it is, man, who do you think it could be? Do you think that we could see someone on a global level? Like me personally, I've been saying in some chats, I would love nothing more than to snake Calafiori from under Juve and make him another piece. But then again, we don't have the demand for that position, even though I would love to make sure that he's secured in our squad for the next, I don't know how many years. We're not going to get him if we've already got as many centre backs rotating as we do, because we do have a lot of centre backs rotating. Who would it be for you if you're thinking of someone bigger coming in?
For me, it would be Buongiorno. I think that he
Okay.
would be that center back guy that would be perfect. You can keep Bastoni on the left, you could have Pavard on the right, and then you got Buongiorno in the middle there. That would be the guy, and he would actually be cheaper than what the rumors are, anyway, with Calafiori. So that to me would be such a guy, especially with his defensive solidity. It allows the other two guys to be able to press forward and kind of use their offensive capabilities to the best of their ability, really. So that would, for me, would be the one guy I would love. I did want Bento, but it looks like obviously the Joseph Martinez thing is going to happen. So I shift it now to Buongiorno.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The attacking situation is still interesting, my dude. Very interesting, because I've noticed that when people put out the disrespect, bro, when people put up our predicted lineups for next season, like even the graphics with the depth underneath it, no one includes Joaquin Correa. It's almost like just this pipe dream in the background. Like, no. He's gonna be sold. He's gonna be sold. Like, the disrespect is hilarious, and I'm pretty sure that there are going to be a couple of offers that come in, maybe from Turkey for him or from Portugal.
Dude,
But at
I'll
the
help him
moment, how
pack,
do you?
man.
When I saw a couple of graphics go up and he wasn't in there, I go, this is really disrespectful. Like, he's actually in the squad. Unbelievable, because I'm pretty sure he didn't go to the Copa America with Argentina, did he? No way.
No, he didn't.
No chance there. The attacking situation so far on paper looks like Lautaro, Thuram, Taremi, Arnautovic, Correa. Are you happy with either Arnautovic or Correa staying? It won't be both, but what if one of them had to?
I'm probably in the minority here. I would be okay with Arnautovic staying. I didn't have the hate for him that so many Interisti on Twitter had. I thought that he would come in, he would bring a little bit of flair, a little bit of creativity. Yes, his finishing wasn't ideal, but I didn't expect him to come in and be a 20-goal scorer. I expected him to be able to chip in here and there and kind of know his role and fill in when needed. So maybe because I had lower expectations, it didn't really bother me as much. But yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with him being the fourth option for sure. And who knows, if Goodmanson happens, then he's the fifth option. So it's like, I'm even more okay with that. So
yeah, we're going to need a fifth option with as much football that we're playing this time around. Yeah, there's a few people coming in. Thank you very much. We've got 41 people right now. Fantastic. Thanks, Darian, Figo, Indro. Everybody's here. I think the Goodmanson agreement will be something that happens well and truly, or if it does happen at all, well and truly after the intercontinental tournaments that are happening at the moment. Everyone's very busy. Most headlines are just there to fill papers and websites at this point. One thing that is, however, moving quite well, and we can almost lock that up, staying on the Genoa side of things, is the Josep Martinez deal that looks to be happening. So we've got our guy, probably not our first guy when you weigh it up, but yeah, talk to me a little bit about that. How you feeling there, man? Because I know a lot of our fans, we wanted Bento, the Brazilian goalkeeper who's making his way up the ranks, who I think is actually I don't know if he's in the squad for Brazil in the Copa America, if he's
Yeah,
on the
he is.
bench.
He is.
Oh, he is, even as young as he
Oh,
is.
like,
Well,
oh
there
no,
you
not
go.
star. He's one of the three keepers, is what I
He's
meant.
one of the
Not
three. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. That's cool.
yeah.
But yeah, what are you saying about the Martinez deal coming through, man?
I'm actually excited with it. You know, I had him in my for our podcast is like end of season, like 5-a-side. He was the goalkeeper I picked. I think that he's a really good shot stopper. You know, he came from the La Masia group and you know academy and was able to develop a lot of his footwork. I think that he'd be, you know, somewhat similar to what we got from Onana. I'm not going to say he's going to be at that level, but I do think that he'll be of that ilk. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, I'm excited with it. Yeah, like everyone said, Bento was the guy that we wanted. I mean, everything I saw from him, I loved it. You know, the 2 games that I got to see him fully play were obviously his friendly appearances for Brazil when he played against Spain, and if I'm not mistaken, it was England as well. Fantastic saves, big shot stopper, but this is not a bad consolation. You know, like I had Bento as like my S tier keeper, and then Joseph
Yep.
Martinez as like an A tier, so just a little bit below.
Yeah, no, fair enough, man. I think it's a good time for him to come in and learn off Sommer, who,
Yeah,
just continues to outperform himself and his years, not only for us, but on international duty, still playing so well for Switzerland at the moment. I'm looking forward to him having another good season for us next season and mentoring this young kid. Do you see anybody else leaving from this team? I mean, I know Oak Tree have come in, and the general consensus from management is that, we don't need to sell anybody, but I still don't buy all of that, bro. Someone's got to leave.
I mean, maybe this is more so wishful thinking, but I could definitely see Denzel Dumfries being the name sacrificed if we're gonna have someone, you know, in terms of that brings in any type of monetary value in. I don't know. It'll be curious to see. From last thing I saw, like negotiations on his new contract weren't going well, and there was like rumors of a swap deal with Aston Villa for Matty Cash, and I don't know how I feel about that either. But if anyone was going to be sacrificed, I would guess it would be Dumfries.
Yeah, I'd hope so as well. But he made it pretty public that he wants to stay, and he's enjoying himself here, and he's adapting pretty well to Serie A. Would you be okay with him being a player that stays at Inter and plays 30 games in Serie A next season and plays in the Champions League as well?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I think I have to accept like what he brings to the team and what things that he lacks. I'm hoping that they actually transition Buchanan to the right side and not so much keeping him on the left because you already
Yeah.
have Di Marco and Carlos Augusto there. So it's like if he's going to be alternating with Buchanan, I'm okay with it. But if he's going to be the primary starter and that hinders like Buchanan's growth, I don't know how I feel about it because when he comes on, his pace and his ability to even take shots from outside the box, his crossing is better. Like I just wouldn't understand, you know, why he's not getting more minutes. You know.
I was very impressed with Buchanan in the minutes that he played for us. His ability to keep the ball close to his body and move at the pace that he does is really, really refreshing. And
Yeah.
he's a player that next season, I hope to see him get more starting games, but I hope to see him come off the bench way more often. I don't think we're ready to see him start anything more than 10 to 12 games for this club, possibly.
Yeah.
But off the bench, we need to be using his pace, not just if it can be adapted to all elements of the game. If we're chasing a game, if we're protecting a lead as well, it's a very valuable skill set that he has, getting in behind those defenders, being able to hold the ball up and being able to go from left to right, coast to coast as well. I mean, even if you're putting him on to play on the right or the left-hand side, he is one of those players that can definitely adapt to a couple of different roles, which is an Inzaghi specialty in his management of Inter players so far. A lot of our players have been able to adapt and go into different roles as well. We've spoken pretty well about the attacking situations. We've just covered the right-hand side, spoke a little bit about the defense. So we can probably speak a little bit more about the defense. Acerbi and De Vrij, it looks like one of these two is going to have to head the back three next season, unless one of the big signings, or if we are going to make a big signing, it is Buongiorno or Calafiori, because those are the only two big centre backs I could see us making a big move for. So with Bastoni's spot sealed, Pavard's spot sealed, Bisek, a more than reliable debutant for Pavard. I personally would have preferred to see Pavard integrated into that central centre back position, and let's see Bisek get some more minutes. Maybe we can see that on a rotational scale, Gianni. I don't doubt that whatsoever. There's a lot of goddamn football to be played, bro, going forward. But it looks like the starting back three for Inzaghi on paper, unless something changes, will be Bastoni, Acerbi, Pavard. with Devray behind Acerbi. Are you okay with this?
See, that's where I struggle. I think I'm a little bit concerned just because of the age of both Acerbi and Devray. Now we see Acerbi picked up that knock that kept him out of the Euros. Is that going to be a lingering issue that's going to like cause him trouble next year? Like you said, we have a lot of games next season. Not only do we have like the 3 main tournaments that we're going to be participating in, but then we also have the Club World Cup that's going to be happening in the summer. So you're going to need like a bunch of bodies really to be able to get through this season. And if we don't reinforce the defense, now I agree with you. Like if they want to move Pavard to the center and allow Bisek to be on the right side, I think that'd be great to like rotate them in and kind of get some fresh legs in and rest some of those guys. But I'm more hopeful that we do invest in some type of center back now. Like I don't know if you saw it, but there's like a rumor of like Biol from Udinese being an option to be more of a depth signing. If that's the route they want to go, I guess I'd be okay with that since he would be like a depth piece. But anything else that other than that, I don't know. I would much rather prefer it being obviously one of Calafiori or Buongiorno, but those prices might turn it away.
The fact of the matter is that, a pro characteristic of Inzaghi here can go back to bite him in the ass, because management would look at the situation and go, hold up, man. We've seen what can happen when you rotate. Matteo Darmian can play right centre back. He can play left centre back. Federico Di Marco can play left centre back. Carlos Augusto can play left centre back. Inzaghi was sitting there going, fuck, they can. But at the end of the day, we need... Marotta knows what he's building here, and Buongiorno and Calafiori are definitely one of them are on his lists for the next one to keep building this Italian identity within this side, which we are starting to dominate. I think that he is going to look at one of them, but we'll see what happens, my bro. Midfield wise, the big thing that I want to talk about today, and we're 20 minutes in, and this should occupy a fair few minutes going forward, is Hakan. Now, I remember when we signed him, man. As soon as we signed him, I remember telling people, this guy will be sold for about 30, 35 million in a few years' time. I guarantee it. That can't happen now because grande Hakan, grande Inzaghi, let's go Marotta. We shouldn't be taking any less than 50 to 60 million Turkish kebabs for this guy, man. Like, it has to be that. And I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's all paper talk. I think he loves this club. I think he's definitely staying for a bit longer. But at the same time, you throw me a starting offer at 45 million and I'm coming to meet you at that table, and I'm coming to talk. Not to take that offer, but I'm there to talk to you, because at that age, this can be done. But at the same time, I'm saying this, and I just also remember that 19 minutes ago, I said, I agree, bro. Hakan was the MVP of the season. So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, but it's a conversation that I really want to have with you and as many Inter fans as possible, because the fluctuating prices of these players is this and this, Gianni. Next season, let's say, like, I don't even know if it's true if Bayern came to the table, bro, but if they did come to the table and we were to knock something back of the 55 million, 60 million realm, and Hakan had an average season, that becomes 25 million at his age now. That's how big it can drop from age 30 and a half to 31 and a half. What are your thoughts, bro? Take it away.
I had varying ideas about this initially. So what I saw was initially it was going to be like 70 million. And it's like, all right, if you're going to offer 70 million, you have to accept that. Now, I don't know if there's any truth. I mean, I've only seen what I saw on Twitter. Like, I haven't seen like any actual publication come out with it or any actual reporting on it, but they definitely were interested, supposedly. Now, I mean, Hakan did put like a really nice Instagram post about wanting to stay, and he, his heart is in Milano and all this stuff, which it's all great to hear. And obviously, as Interisti, we want to hear that from a player who had such a big season for us. But yeah, like you said, if they start at 45, I'm willing to come to the table to have the discussions. But I would need a little bit more than that for sure to get it done.
Oh yeah.
I think the only reason I was talking about this with my dad is, I would take 45 million, and if they want to throw in Kim Min-jae, since they want to get rid of him apparently, yeah, then I'd be willing to take that deal if that's the option. Because there are some young players that we could, potentially invest in. I mean, you could look at Ederson at Atalanta, Hjulmand, who was at Sporting Lisbon, who's a guy I love. He used to play for Lecce. There are young talent out there. And like you said, like if it has a bad year and it drops down to 25, then you're like, damn, we just cost ourselves, some money, especially in our financial situation where every $20 million would be a big deal regardless, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah. Like the idea of starting next season without Hakan scares the shit out of me
yeah,
because
because I don't think we would
it's
have the
such a key
same.
piece. It's such a key piece to our puzzle.
Mhm. And then who's taking the penalties if he's not there? That's
Shit.
huge.
I didn't even
That's
think
huge.
about that, bro.
Like 11 for 11. What do you go? 13 for 13 actually on penalties, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not getting that type of production out of anybody else on this team. I don't think, at least.
Yeah, look,
So
he's
that's
he's worth 60 million euros to us, man. That's the bottom line.
easily.
He's worth that much to us. Um, that being said, we've got a couple of other players doing very well on international duty. Our captain is doing very well on international duty, as most strikers of his ability would do if you have to sit the bench and you can come on and play those sort of minutes. But I remember I was at school. I was walking through the playground the other day and I'm just scrolling. I'm like, geez, still 0-0. Argentina, like they really are not great. Neither are Brazil at the moment. But as I see how Lautaro warming up, I go, this is written in the stars easily. And it won't even take him that long. And I swear to God, man, there he is, like absolute clockwork in true Lautaro fashion. First time, body off balance, contoured in the opposite direction into the top corner. What was it? 3.5 minutes later, simple tap in, decides to try and chip the keeper, and the keeper saves it from about 3 yards out. So textbook Lautaro.
Yep.
But long story short, he's going to re-sign a new contract for 9.5 million euros a season. Our highest paid player and our captain. What were your thoughts on that when they announced that the deal was pretty much done? Like I almost still don't believe anything until I see people holding up a signature or whatever.
Yeah.
So I still think it's not 100% done yet. But let's just, for sake of argument, say that Lautaro has agreed the 9.5 million and everything's done. You happy with that going forward? And do you think the club has intent to sell in the background for a very large price once they get this signature?
I don't think they have intent to sell. I think that they hope that he becomes the new Zanetti, you know, just becomes that symbol of leadership at the club and stays for the long term. He seems to be pretty happy in Milano too. Obviously, him and his wife have that restaurant there, and not that that means anything, but I think that they seem pretty settled here, and they don't
Yeah.
want to like actually, you know, leave. Which, and then we saw with the reports that he was looking for 13, 11, and then he reached out to his agent, "Hey, get the deal done." That means a lot to me. I think if that's
Yeah.
exactly what did play out. So I'm thrilled with it. I think that we see what the striker market is like out there. You know, like let's say we sold him for 100 million. Well, we're gonna have to invest probably 80 to get someone just as good or younger, you know, to like kind of fill in and take that role. And is he going to have the same type of impact on the team? Is he going to have the same type of chemistry with Taram and his other teammates where he can have an impact? And then I don't know. To me, it's important that we keep him. I wouldn't want to sell and then have to worry about what we're investing in. So yeah, I'm thrilled that he's sticking around. Like you said, I would want to, once I see him sign pen to paper and hold up that that kit that says whatever 2029, whatever
Yeah.
it may be. That's when I feel secure. But I do feel pretty good that we get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. All the fundamental renewals were coming through. Inzaghi, Marotta as president. You've got Barella as well. I was so happy with the Barella announcement, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's an absolute machine. He's just had a son as well. He's here for the long run. I think he might be here for the rest of his career. I literally think he's probably going to be here until he's 34, 35 years old, and then going to Sardinia after that. What were your thoughts on the Barella renewal, man? You're very happy with it?
I'm thrilled. I mean, he's my favorite player on the team. He's the summer that we signed him, he was the one player that I did want, and I was worried that we might not get because of the rumors with
Likewise.
Roma. Like I
Yeah.
was so afraid that we were going to miss out on him. And when we got him, I was
Yeah.
like, this is the signing that symbolizes like that we're going back, to where we were and where we
Yeah.
should be. So keeping
Facts,
him,
cuz.
like, man, he's everything to me. Like he's my favorite player. I know he has his ups and downs, and people don't like sometimes the way he reacts with his little temper tantrums and stuff. But to me, that's passion. To me, he loves. He wants to win. He wants to be successful. He wants the teammates to include him and to also be able to build off one another and be successful. So I'm so happy he's here and man, like what a guy. Like the way he talks about Inter, I love that. So like I
Yeah.
want him to stay here, like you said, 34, 35, whatever it may be, until he wants to go home to Sardinia. Like I'm cool with it.
Yeah. This is what I mean, bro. Like next season, we need to fucking capitalize on this unique element of passion that we've got in this club, because not many clubs at top level can walk around their locker room and go, "Hey, Nico, born Interista from birth. Hey, Bastoni, Interista from birth. Di Marco, Interista. I don't know how far Fratesi goes back. If he really was an Inter fan, I don't know if he was or not, but he definitely acts like it. We've got a lot going for us in terms of this locker room, in terms of identifying with the club, identifying with the badge at the front of the jersey, and it doesn't happen many other clubs in the modern game. We need to capitalize on this, man. I hope they want to win this next trophy, this next Scudetto, as much as these fans do, because I want to win 21, and I think this team can do it, Gianni.
Oh, I have zero doubts that we can do it. I don't listen. I like what I'm seeing that other clubs are doing to kind of like elevate their game, but I still don't think they're going to have enough firepower to be able to compete with us. And I want us to just keep going for. I want to like. I don't want to just win one Scudetto. I want sustained success. I want us to
Mm,
continue to win, 3, 4, 5 titles in a row. I want people to hate us in Serie A. Like I want them to look at us and be like, "Yo, why can't we have that? Why don't we have a Beppe who finds all the free transfers and is able to like just continue to refill the cupboards and be successful? Like why don't we sign the next, I don't know, Pavard for like a 30 million? Like what other club in Europe signed a center back of that level for 30 million euros? None.
exactly,
Like
bro.
we don't miss. So
Do you think? Do you think Bepe's second guessing this whole retiring in 2027 thing after becoming president of the club?
I think so. I mean, again, I'm not in the room. I have no idea what he's saying, but I think that like now that he has this title, it's probably a little less stressful for him, right? So like
Yeah.
not as much involved in the day to day. He's trusting Auxilio. I'm sure he's like, involved in some negotiations and some talks. But I think now that he has a little bit less of hands on the reins, that it's like less stress on him and he can stay here long term and just kind of build on the success that he's already started.
Yeah, facts, man. Absolute facts. I'm really looking forward to it, man. I think the team's got a lot of time to gel preseason. I don't think we're traveling anywhere near as much as we had plans to if we were still under the Suning regime. So players will come back from the Euro and the Copa with at least a little bit of downtime to gel at the training grounds before we actually do take the pitch for next season. Do you know when the fixtures get released, bro?
I thought it was normally like the end of July, maybe middle July, something like that.
Middle July. Yeah, you're probably right about that. You're probably right. Look, that's pretty much it that I had for the Inter side of things. Unless I skipped anything, was there anything that you wanted to ask me or talk about? Did I miss anything in our world that's been going on?
Anything that I don't think there's really anything. I mean, maybe like just what's going to be happening with Carboni might be the only thing that we kind of like
Yeah.
didn't touch
What do you?
on. But
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't think we're going to sell him. I think he's going to go out on another loan. The rumor is they wanted 45 million for him, which I would
Mm,
have been thrilled if somebody wanted to pay us 45 million for Carboni. But if we could loan him out to, I don't know, a Bologna, a Genoa, something like that, I think that would be good for his growth. He needs minutes. As much as I would like to keep him and allow him to, get minutes under Inzaghi and learn from these other strikers like Lautaro, like Turam and stuff, I think it's important for him to get at this age, to continue to be playing, especially now that he's, kind of like a key player in the national team. They keep calling him up and he keeps actually playing. So
yeah.
I hope he gets loaned out. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. What are you saying about Mkhitaryan's minutes next season? You think he starts to drop off a little bit and we see a little bit more Fratesi?
I think it's gonna be Zielinski that takes minutes away
Yeah,
from
sorry, Zielinski. That's
Mkhitaryan.
what I meant to say, man. Sorry, that's exactly who I meant to say.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, we know Inzaghi has his guys, and obviously Mkhitaryan seems to be one of them. That no matter what the situation is, he's playing 90 minutes. Like he'll take Barella and Hakan off before he takes off Mickey for whatever reason, and he's the older of the three. So, um, I hope Zielinski takes minutes away from him. I'm sure they're going to be rotating those two guys at least.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what goes on in Inzaghi's head. Not that it's a bad thing. I just, sometimes you think one way and he does completely opposite. So
I think with last season, man, like when you can see the Scudetto and you can see the system in front of you working and you can see the rivals around you dropping points all the time, Inzaghi just knew exactly what would work. There were so many games last season where I expected rotation, bro, and I saw those lineups in Serie A, and I thought, Jesus Christ, he's actually going for the jugular. But well done, man. Well done to him. I wanted that second star like oxygen, and all of us did. And he really wanted that first Scudetto, bro. He needed that. He needed that, and now he's got it. And the sky's sort of the limit for this manager. I'm excited for his future. Who knows what he can accomplish, not only here, but everywhere. I hope he stays with us for a long, long, long time, Gianni. A long time. Before we even talk about those jersey, I want Inzaghi to be here for a long time, my friend.
I don't want him gone. I'm so glad that he's extending, because there's nobody in Serie A that I could look to, except for, it would have been maybe Thiago Motta, but now that he's decided to go to Juve, I want nothing to do with him. There's nobody in Serie A who comes close to him in terms of a tactical stance. I mean, he had the one up on Conte. You know, even when we had Conte at Inter, he was still beating us with Lazio, an inferior squad. So he knew how to even go up against that. It'll be interesting to see how we play against Napoli next season for sure. But I still would take Inzaghi over Conte, just because, I mean, I feel like he's got such a good relationship too with the players that they genuinely love playing for him, and I think that it goes a long way with, especially when you want to build on sustained success. You know,
the club loves him as well. I mean, like, he's the perfect middle ground between a hardcore manager and a yes man. Like, he has absolutely no problem staying quiet in the media, even when it's a bad day. He's just handled everything like a pure gentleman, and I'm really, really grateful for him. The thing about the jerseys for next season is I think that they're all fake so far, because I haven't seen anything with a second star. They're all getting leaked from real rubbish websites as well. Have you seen anything worth mentioning?
I did see one of the home mock-ups. Like, when they released those 3, I did see the one home mock-up that did have the second star. I didn't see it on the away or the third, but I have been seeing a lot of the third kit being like leaked. And if that's the third kit, nah, man, you can't win a second star and then put that out for your fans to want to purchase, man. Like that, I'll get the home kit just because I always get the home kit, but the away one looks kind of bland. I mean, I like simple, but that's just almost too simple. And then the third one is like, bro, what is that? Like, they are ass. Like, they're
absolutely. Absolutely. Bro, just to finish off, and I'm really, really grateful for you coming through. It's been really, really cool. The Euros, that's on everyone's mind. How far can the Azzurri go, man?
It really depends on what Spalletti starts tomorrow. You know, like,
that's exactly what Steve and I said about an hour and a half ago.
Like, I don't know what he's gonna do. If he starts Mancini next to Di Lorenzo, I think it's gonna be an L. I think that you said it. I mean, I think before we even came on, I think Mancini gets carded at some point and gets sent off. Like, he does something stupid that costs us the game.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about Cristante, Fagioli, and Barella. So, yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned with what he might be up to, for sure.
We've got to try and enjoy it and hope for the best, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly it, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming by, guys. If you haven't already, head over to the InterViews YouTube channel and please subscribe there. Make sure you also follow Gianni on Twitter. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or plug before we head off, bro?
No, we just got, I mean, we did these custom jerseys that we kind of made a small batch of for some of our listeners to purchase. We didn't do it for any profit. We really just cover your costs, and like, it's good. And I'm excited. We got those all squared away and the orders in. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you listen, we do giveaways for Inter cards. They're open to anyone. We'll ship it wherever you are. It doesn't matter. So I've got this really cool Jan Bisek rookie card that we're going to be doing a giveaway for here shortly.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it.
Nice one, bro. Well, thank you so much for coming by, and I'm sure we'll catch up either closer to the season when it gets or when it gets started, man.
Yeah, no, thank you again for bringing me on.
Anytime. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Forza